it's Michelle, and I'm back again today to do another contest winning video for the egg-shaped dies. And this is another suggestion from HappyBird. I hope you all got a chance to see my video of her cardinal nest idea that I did on the last tag, and this one is going to be a nativity scene, and I'm so excited about it. Again, I'm going to be using my largest egg shape for the tag itself, and I've got another die set here that is the nativity scene, and I'll leave you guys a link to this, and it can go all the way across the card, but we're only going to be using this portion here with Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus in the manger. And this set came with this scene here with the nativity and two different options for the star to put in the sky above that, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. I've went ahead and cut out both of those in a silver glitter paper, and I think that is just gorgeous, and I'll decide when I get to that part which one of those I'm going to want to use on my tag. And for the scene in the background, I've already done some ink blending on a piece of regular cardstock, and this is actually a pretty thin one, but we'll layer it up the way we did on the other tag. And as you can see, it's nothing fancy. It kind of looks a little messy right now, but we're going to pick out just the right part of that to cut our egg shape to where it's going to look good. And what I did with this was I just blended from dark at the top to light at the bottom. I started with my lighter colors first, and I used Memento inks. I used my Dewdrop ink in the Summer Sky, and then for the darker color I used Paris Dusk. Then I went over a little bit at the top and kind of blended down to kind of tone down those colors. I don't know if you guys can see, but that Paris Dusk over here is much brighter and even has a little bit of a purpley look to it. But I just kind of brought a little bit of that tuxedo black over everything to tone it down and darken up that very top of the sky a little more. And you can see here where I started with my tuxedo black. I didn't really go heavy on it. It's still kind of gray looking up here, but it was just enough to darken over top of those other colors. I did the ink blending off camera because I didn't want to make it a super long video. Again, my last tag video was kind of long, and I don't know if you guys like to see the full process or not. Some people comment that they like it, and some people sort of complain about the lengthy videos. So you guys let me know in the comments what you like. Do you want to see the full process, or would you rather have a little bit quicker of a video? So with my ink blending done, I'm just going to take my large egg-shaped die, and I'm just going to put it on here and kind of guesstimate where I'm going to want that. Maybe turn it sideways a little bit to get more of a bright look around where the nativity will be. And I'm going to kind of hold this die up there too to get a guess of how far up into the sky that will come to. And I think that looks good right there for my egg shape, for my scene background. And sometimes I do the die cutting off camera too, but I wanted to show you guys this part just to show you kind of how you can pick your placement with your ink blended scene like that. And I'm going to show you a little bit also about how we're going to do the nativity scene, and that's going to be a black silhouette. So I've got my A and B plate in my Cuttlebug, and I just put my ink blended piece in there, and I'm going to put my C plate on top of that and run it through. And there is our sky background. I think that is so pretty. I like that I kind of tilted it a little there so that the light area comes up a little higher where our stable scene is going to be, and that way that black will be against a lighter color and it'll stand out a little better and also kind of look like it's illuminated down there. Okay, so what I wanted to show you about this is a border die, and you can see these little lines here. Those are the cutting edges, and you'll notice there's not one along the bottom. And I really like that about this die set because the bottom edge will not cut since it does not have a cutting edge. So we can scoot it up and we'll get a thicker ground area. And I want to do that so that I can have that go all the way down to the bottom of my egg scene and sort of choose the placement on that. So I'm just going to tape that down and run it through, and then I'll show you where we go from there. And actually, I'm going to cut this off. That's such a long die that I don't think it'll fit through my Cuttlebug that way. I'm going to have to turn it this way and run it through like that. And then pull that off. And now you can see where it didn't cut that bottom edge. We've got that full thickness for the ground there that we can work with. And then when we die cut that, we can sort of choose where to cut that, how much ground we want to show on that. And we've got enough thickness to come all the way down to the bottom border of that egg. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my egg piece that I've already got cut, and I think right there looks really nice. So then I can just sort of, let's see, hold that in place just temporarily onto my background. Well, it doesn't want to stick. Let's see. Maybe if I wrap it around. Then I can hold my egg up there to where my background is. And then when I get that lined up, I can tape the egg to the black piece. And then I'll be able to cut that bottom border to match with the edge of my main tag. And there, that is. And we'll be able to line that up just exactly with the bottom edge of our tag. And I really like the way that's looking already. I like that lighter blue area down around the bottom. And I also have a couple of the eggs already cut out from watercolor cardstock, so we can layer those together and get a thick, sturdy tag. So I'm going to move my Cuttlebug out of the way. And before we layer those up, I've got something that I want to try on my background piece here. I've got some new embossing powder, and this is the Letter It embossing powder set from Ranger, and this is the Tinsels set, and they are glittery, and I really love that. And I thought I would try something to try to make some stars in the sky. I'm going to bring in my glass cutting board, because I want to be able to kind of leave this laying down when I use my heat tool on that, so that I don't have to move it and shift my powder. Because what I'm going to do is just sprinkle it loosely on there without using any anti-static powder tool. Because the anti-static powder tool kind of keeps it from sticking. I'm going to try to sprinkle lightly and evenly over the sky and just have some sparkly stars showing in the sky. And then with my glass cutting board down there, I can just bring this in and not have to move that piece and shift those little sprinkles around. So I've got my heat tool heating up a little bit before we go in with that. And I want it to get good and hot before I come to that, because I want it to instantly kind of melt that powder so it'll stick right where it's at and not let the heat tool blow it around and get it out of place. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try it. And I've not tried this off camera, so you all are going to see how this works with me. I'm going to try to hold it still and bring that in. And now that that's adhered, maybe a little bit from the back. And that worked. I love that. I actually think I might want to put a little bit more. So I'm going to do one more little layer of that. Try to be super careful to get it on evenly again. So we're going to melt that one more time. I think I did blow some of that off with my heat tool. We'll try it one more time. I'm going to see if I can lift it up and heat it from the back side. See how that works. Pick it up very gently and try to come in from behind. And then come over the front. And I think that worked great. So now I'm going to set my cutting board aside, and we can adhere our layers together. Making sure to get the glue stick really good around the edges. And I'm using the Craft Bond from Elmer's. And then I can just layer those right together and press it in. And then I can adhere my ink blended layer to the front of that. Now we can put our little nativity piece on there. And I think I'm going to use my Zig glue pen for that, so I can get all those little intricate areas. And get it all the way out to the edge again. And then just line that up with the bottom edge of our egg. And press it down. And there we have a beautiful nativity scene already. I'm going to go ahead and punch my hole in the top using my Crocodile, and I'm using the 3/16 hole punch in that. You can use your regular 1/4 inch or whatever you've got. And I'm going to try to get it fairly close to the top because I really don't want my ribbons to interfere much with the star that I'm going to put on there. And I'm not putting a sentiment on the front of here because I didn't want to interrupt this scene. I think it's beautiful just the way it is. So you can stamp or handwrite a sentiment or Merry Christmas to and from, whatever you want on the back side of that. And I really just like the scene as it is on the front. And I'm going to use a piece of silver ribbon, and that's just one that I had in my scrap bin when I've got just small pieces of ribbon left and I don't have a whole roll anymore. I go ahead and put them all into a bin that I've got in the cabinet in my craft room, and then when they get kind of bunched up and wrinkled in there, a little tip for you guys is I've got this little hair straightener. It's just a little mini flat iron for hair, and I keep that in my craft room, and I just sort of let that get hot, and then I can just run the ribbon right through there, and it flattens it back out for me just like ironing it, and gets those wrinkles out where I've had it in my scrap bin. And together with my silver, that's a 1/4 inch silver ribbon, I'm going to also use an 1/8 inch blue ribbon to go along with that. And I'm just going to kind of cut it to the length of whatever I had left of my silver there. I'm just going to kind of put those through together. And then pull the ends through the loops. There we go. And then tighten that up. And there is our ribbon, and we can get our star in the sky. And remember, I had 2 that came with that die set. So let's see which one we want in the sky. I kind of like the look of that. That is pretty too, but I think it comes down too close to the top of the stable there. It doesn't really look like it's up there in the sky. So this time I think I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of that. Get my tweezers here so I can kind of hold on to that. And one last thing that I want to add is a little rhinestone in the center of the star. And I've got some adhesive rhinestones here that have that AB coloring on them. I've had them for a while, but I didn't really have a project that I thought deserved them, I guess. And I think this one does. So I'm going to take one of those off and just put it right in the center of my star. And I think I'm going to stop right there. It's very simple, but for this case I think simple is good, and I just really love this. I love the glittery stars in the sky. I love the AB rhinestone and the nativity scene, and I just love this idea. I think it's gorgeous. So you guys be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of HappyBird's idea for a nativity tag. I think it's a beautiful use for these egg dies. And you guys are going to be seeing more of the egg dies. I've got more videos coming up soon, some punch art ideas and things that I think you're going to love. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell next to that so that you'll get notifications when I upload a new video. Also be sure to go over and subscribe to HappyBird's channel. I'll put her link in the description area also, so you can do that. Give me a like over on my Facebook page, and also be sure to join our Facebook group, Craftie Minds. You can share your crafts over there with us. We would love to have you join. Also follow me on Pinterest and Instagram, and don't forget to visit my blog. I'll have the links to everything in the description below, so be sure and check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.